Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today, since Scream 7 has released, I'm going to rank all the Scream movies again, this time with Scream 7, so let's do it. Coming in number 7 is Scream 2. I don't hate any of the Scream movies. I've said this in the past. I think that they're all consistent. I think that they're absolutely great. Scream 2 for me, I think it's a very fun movie. It's one that is kind of a downslope from the first one. I think once you hit that downslope, you kind of hit this middle of the road type thing where it's like they're all fun and enjoyable movies with cool mysteries. But they never, I know. The highs of Scream 2 for me never reached the highs of Scream 1. And I think it's one of those things where it's like, this movie is a lot of fun. Sydney's now in college. Obviously, you still have all of them still trying to help Sydney get over fears of Ghostface and all that. I think the thing that starts to get to me a little bit is the Billy Loomis mother reveal. That one kind of hurts this movie really bad for me. That's the big thing. That sticks out like a sore thumb. Because that, like, even though it makes sense that a mother would go on good old-fashioned revenge, as she puts it in the movie, I honestly think that, because, like, they even make reference to that, like, every person's mother and father is not in town. Like, Sydney's is a white but hot. Turns out that Stu and Billy are holding him captive. Like, Billy's mother, out of town. Schumacher's parents, out of town. Like, the only one that's not out of town is Bloody Tatum's and Dewey's. But, like, other than that, everyone's parents are out of town. So it's like, I mean, yeah, sure, they might have heard from the news, but it's like, how overall would they hear about this? Like, because everyone knows that the Ghostface was a thing. Everyone is happy that Ghostface is gone, at least from what we presume from the first one. And then, like, the second one, turns out he's not gone because other people have carried that legacy. That's not the problem I have with it. My problem is, like, how did Stu's mother know that Sydney was the one who killed him? Like, that's the thing that gets me. I'm like, and plus, like, that was one of those things where it was like, people say this about Scream 7, which we'll get to in a second, but, like, people say that they do the Mandarin twist thing where it's like, oh, I didn't see that coming being the Ghostface reveal, but that is less interesting than what you were saying up. I think that this is the one that hurts me the most, because, like, when we have the first Ghostface reveal, I'm like, oh my god, wow, he's actually behind this. And then once they do the big epic reveal to Billy's mother, I'm like, huh? What? And, like, not in a good way, as in, like, whoa, what a twist. I'm like, who the hell is this? And I'm like, how the hell did you know that he was killed by Sydney? If anything, the police could have shot him. Gale could have shot him. Dewey could have shot him. Like, how do you know that just because Sydney was the one dating your son doesn't mean that she was the one who killed him? I mean, we know that she killed him because we were the audience watching that movie. But how did the in-universe, other than Gale and Dewey, how did everyone else know that Sydney was the one who did it? Like, it's silly to me. Like, that really hurts this movie. And I honestly think that because this movie is more of a fun movie to me, where it's like, it's a very good sequel, but it doesn't do a lot of crazy stuff that we would get from the later ones. Coming in number 6, we have Scream 4. I really like Scream 4. I think that Scream 4 is a very great meta commentary on reboots at that time. And I think that the movie as a whole really works for me, and I love the meta commentary of the beginning of the movie where you're going to see Stab 7, but it's showing you Stab 6, and then it turns out the people in Stab 7 are actually watching Stab 6, and Stab 6 is actually Anna Paquin and Christian Bale. I really like that. I think that whole opening is really, really good. And I love seeing Sydney many years later. This time she's written a book about how she's gone over those fears. Gale is trying to figure out other stuff to write other than just true stuff that has happened. Dewey is actually now the sheriff, and he has Deputy Judy with him. I think that all that stuff is great. I love the whole thing of the movie club, and how these two nerdy guys just basically have a marathon night of all the Stab movies, and yet the killer's going to go to there. I think that is very, very cool. I liked finding out that I love the reveal in this movie, like the Ghostface reveals. But the thing that gets me most about this movie is that why would you... I mean, I guess... Because, like, Jill... I like Jill as a character. But I'm kind of surprised that this is the first movie we're hearing about her. And, like, Sydney's aunt. Like, this is the first movie, and I'm like, you didn't mention any of this in your previous 3 movies? Like, that's where I'm just kind of like, okay, I guess. Why would you do that? I don't know why that's... I don't know. It feels weird, like... Because you would think that, like, if Sydney's not going to live, especially, like, after... Because we don't see the father after the first movie. We find out that the father's still alive. They rescue the father. So I was like, we never see the father again. But now, here we have a whole thing of the auntie and the cousin that we've never heard about before. And their main roles in this movie, especially the cousin. And like, but like, I love Kirby. I think Kirby's great. I think that I love her character in both movies that she appears in. I think that Gale not being trusted with the crimes, like not getting her to actually investigate with Dewey. I think that's a very interesting storyline and gets Gale kind of away from Dewey and kind of makes her go off on her own for a bit, and makes her go to the Sabathon and actually film all these things with cameras and stuff. And like, I think that that's very, very cool, and it's very something that you would totally expect them to do in a Scream movie. And I think that Neve Campbell does a great job in this movie. And it's really nice seeing an older Sydney in these movies. It's crazy how much, like, from the first one, you see her grow up. But it's cool seeing Sydney, like, growing up and going around, like, on the roof as Ghostface is chasing her and that type of stuff. And all of the, like, shocking kills and reveals that again, so I'm like, oh my god, that's crazy. But at the end of the day, I remember more stuff from most of the other movies than Scream 4, even though I really, really like Scream 4, and I love the meta-commentariness of the reboot stuff. Coming at number 5, I have Scream 3. Scream 3 to me is just a campy, fun time. The thing that I love most about this movie, you guys know, one of the reasons why I wanted to do a YouTube channel is that was because I love movies. I love making movies. And my dream is to be on a film set. Whether if it's directing or starring or whatever. Probably more directing than starring. And Scream 3 is that. Scream 3, like, the whole thing is in Hollywood. The mystery is on the Stab 3 set, which is amazing. And I think that it's very, very interesting that the fact that we have the actress who plays Gale in the Stab movies teaming up with actual Gale, and then like solving that mystery, and like it's a very buddy cop thing that I actually really, really like. I think that Dewey in this movie is really, really cool, and I think that all the actors that portray the characters in the Stab movies are very, very fun. The one complaint that I have, especially from especially in Scream 3. Scream 3 and Scream 5, which we'll talk about a little later. But those two movies, those two are the movies that Sidney is in the least. It's crazy because this franchise is about her. I'm not saying that she needs to be an integral part of the story. But it's crazy to not have, especially in your trilogy, of your first trilogy of Scream, Scream 2, Scream 3, to not have Sidney, like, in the beginning, like, solving the mystery and stuff with Dewey and Gale. You're like, I'm kind of missing the camaraderie between our three leads, because Sidney has moved, and, like, even though that's not safe for Sidney to come back, but it's like, she comes back anyway because she has friends there, so it's like, oh, okay, like, that makes a lot of sense, and, like, I actually really like that. I actually don't hate the ghost face. I think that Roman's a pretty cool ghost face. Even though that is a little weird when you have, like, the whole, like, the remembering mother plot, but I think that that's very, very cool because the voice changer thing, and actually Sidney's mother, is actually, Roman has gone through all of the movies that his mother has been in, and basically takes bits and pieces to make sentences and stuff, and actually to make full-on sentences to, like, speak to Sidney through those, and I think that that's very, very cool, and I think that is just absolutely amazing, seeing that in this movie, is like how they use Sidney's mother to haunt Sidney, and I love the meta commentary that they point out that it's a trilogy. I really, really like that, and I think that it really, really works in this movie. Coming number 4, we have Scream 7, our new installment to the franchise. I think that Scream 7 was actually really, really strong. I think that this movie is getting overhated, because I think that a lot of these movies, like especially some of the current franchise stuff, is turning into the old Star Wars and DCEU thing where it's like, oh my god, like these movies are terrible now because there's nothing new to them and that sort of stuff. I don't feel like that way with Scream 7. Scream 7, to me, is a meta commentary on the real world of, like, these modern times where, like, AI is taking over, and, like, how much can AI affect our real world? And that is the main commentary in this movie. No, I actually really, really like that. I love seeing Matthew Lillard back in the franchise. I think that, I mean, and I said this in the review, my only disappointment about Matthew Lillard in this movie is that he's not, like, the way that they use him is cool, and the way that they use on the meta commentary of AI, but the actual, like, thing of, like, I was expecting them to give a really cool, like, scientific or reason why Schumacher is still alive, but it turns out he isn't still alive, he's still pretty much dead, and they're just using AI and, like, doing the whole, like, photo, like, deepfake AI stuff, which I thought was really, really cool. I just thought it was just I thought when Matthew Lillard was attached, I actually thought that they were going to be using Matthew Lillard, like, the actual, like, Schumacher, like, is actually going to be in this movie. That's my only disappointment with it. But I love like I said in the no spoiler, I love the relationship between Sidney and Tatum. I think that was very, very strong in this movie. And the whole scene where Sidney is at, is like going to Tatum and she's ringing her, and Tatum is being chased by Ghostface, and Sidney's trying to teach her how to use the gun and that type of stuff. I thought that was a very powerful scene. And I thought that all the Ghostface stuff was very intense. I loved the scene in the house where Sidney and Tatum were going through the walls and Ghostface was using his knife, but then once they bend his knife, I was like, oh my god, yes, like, thank god Sidney's being old Sidney and figuring out ways to get get rid of Ghostface's weapon, and then like Ghostface goes over to the sword stand that they have in their house and pulls out a sword and start using two swords to stab Sidney and Tatum. I thought that scene was very intense. I thought that the husband was very, very strong. I think that the whole, death. I say death, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But like I thought that whole scene was really, really good when Ghostface did that to him and that type of stuff. I thought that was very, very cool. That was very scary to me. I loved the whole opening of Scream 7 where we saw Stu Macher's house, and it was the two people exploring it, and then like the gags in that were very funny. Like they were making references to the first Scream and Scream 5, because both of those movies, the Stu Macher house, are big roles in those movies. And I thought that was very, very cool. And I think that this movie was actually very, very strong. I think that it was more good than bad. I think I found more to like in this movie than other people did. I think that it's funny because someone actually made maybe I might need to make another video about this, but someone left a comment on my out of theater reaction for Scream 7 on TikTok. Basically saying, they were more commenting on the fact that I like the way that they used Stu Macher in this movie as like an AI type thing. And they were like, I feel like that in Scream 8 there's going to be a cult. That's what they say in the comment. And I was like, oh, that's actually very interesting. So like, if they go with the cult aspect and Stu's going to be leading it through AI, that would be very interesting. I would love to see that. And I'd love to see Stu back, much like how Skeet Ulrich came back in Scream 5 and 6. So, that's my number 4. Going into the top 3, we have Scream 2022. I think that this movie was such a great installment to the franchise, where like it does a great job with making fun and poking at the reboot, recool, like Force Awakens, Ghostbusters Afterlife, and like the Terminator, Genesis, and those type of things in this movie. I thought that they did a great job with that, and like I love how this movie is basically setting up new characters for us to follow with. Unfortunately, we couldn't get that 3-movie arc. But I thought that this movie was very well done, and especially in 2022, I thought that it was such a great movie for the madness of reboot calls and that type of stuff. I do think that this is one of the few times that the Ghostfaces actually did surprisingly shock me. Because the other ones, there were times when it would shock me, like the Scream 3 one kind of shocked me, and then the Scream 4 one shocked me as well. I think the Jill one kind of shocked me less than the other person that was with her. And obviously Scream 1 ones were really shocking. But yeah, no, I think that Scream 6, for what it was doing, which was the meta commentary on reboot calls and that type of stuff, I thought that was very, very cool. Seeing how they used the old characters integrated with the new characters was also very, very cool. I loved seeing Dewey go up against Ghostface, even though unfortunately he gets killed off. And I loved seeing Gale and Sidney actually team up together to help Sam and Tara and Maddie and all those guys take down Ghostface. And I like seeing Sidney and Gale actually take down one of the Ghostfaces in bloody flames. That actually kind of shocked me. I was like, oh my god. That was crazy. So, yeah, no, that was very, very cool, and I really liked how they did that. At number 2, we have Scream 6. This movie I love. I watched it 2 days ago, and I still loved it. Again, like I said in Scream 5, I love the characters of Sam and Tara. I think that Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega do a great job. I think that this was a great step in the right direction, where it's like, now we're in New York, we're out of Woodsboro, we're in New York, we're in a bigger city. That means more people can experience the deaths. We can see the things like the subway scene. We can see the Ghostface with a shotgun scene. We can see all these different things. And I think that pretty much works in Scream 6, because we're out of Woodsboro, we're in a bigger city, we can do new things and new creative ways to kill people. And I thought that was very, very cool seeing that. And also, finally getting the interaction between Gale and Ghostface on the phone was very, very cool. And seeing the slap that Tara gives to Gale, that's a callback to Sidney slapping Gale in the original. I thought that was very, very cool. I thought that seeing Kirby was also very cool, seeing her come back from 4, and actually seeing the collection of stuff from the previous Ghostfaces, like the TV that Sidney used to kill Stumacher, and the previous Ghostface costumes, and learning that Jack Quaid's character from Scream 5 was actually a big collector, and it was his collection. And I will say, the father, the sister, and the brother were a bit far-fetched in terms of Ghostfaces, because I think that I don't go to Scream 6 for the Ghostface reveals. I go to it because, 1, it's scary, 2, they're doing something new with the New York setting, and I just love the characters that they've set up in 5, that I love that we got another movie with them. This movie does kind of end with a like, okay, I mean, if you want to do more with Sam, you can, but you don't need to, because it does do a decent farewell to her. Even though that we were meant to get like the Revenge of Sid treatment, where it's like the first 2 movies, she's going like, yeah, nah, I don't want this life. But then, by the 3rd one, she's actually like, nah, I actually want to pursue this Ghostface life, because my sister's dead, and my father is bloody convincing me to do this. It's like, I might as well. So, I thought that was very, very cool, and I love the way that Scream 6 was actually done. For this, and I thought that was very, very strong. But number 1, of course, is Scream 1 from 1996. I still think that this is the best one that they've done. It's simple, it's very easy, it's a movie that like you can easily watch, and it's a movie that is like a school horror movie, and then it's a party horror movie. Like, it feels like 2 different separate movies, and it doesn't feel very jumbled. And I love Stumacher, I love Matthew Lillard in this movie, I love Skeet Ulrich in this movie, I love Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, I love the whole cast in this movie. I think that this movie is easily the best. I don't think that there's a way that they can top it. Because Scream 1 and Scream 6 feel kind of I was able to feel more of the suspense in both of those movies than the other movies. The other movies are, even though that they have great reveals, some of them definitely have more weaknesses than the rest, and I can find good things to love in the other movies. I think that Scream 1 and 6 are clearly the ones that are like, this is what a Scream movie should be. And I think that that's absolutely amazing. So, guys, thank you for watching. Please hit the like button down below if you haven't already. Hit subscribe. Also press the little bell icon to get notified of future videos I make. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon.